was disappointed because I thought that she was over that. I thought that she was beyond that, being that she said she was with a man that was abusing her and beating her up for sex. And I guarantee you, through my experiences, I guarantee you, if we speak to her baby father, it'll be a different story. But I don't even want to go there. But anyway, I told her in 2018, I said, you know what? I don't want to be the person who is going to mash up your happy home. I'm not a house wrecker. I'm in a good space right now. I don't want to be a part of that. If you are with your baby father and this is who you're living with, I'm good. I didn't speak to Kirby the whole year of 2018. In 2019, me and some of my partners decided to do a show in Houston. I haven't contacted Kirby for a whole year. When I got to Houston, my road manager looked at me. He said, what happened to that pretty girl that you used to talk to? Don't she live in Houston? Ain't she a police officer here? I said, yeah. I said, she also lived with her baby father, and I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to leave her alone. Kirby texted me and said, so you wasn't going to reach out to me and you here? I said, honestly, no. You have your life, you have your family, you have your kids, your kid, live your life. She said, I told you that I only moved him here because I needed help with my son. Me and him is not together like that. I need help with my son. I work late hours, and I wanted him to come and help me with my child. She asked me she told me that she was going to come to the show anyway, and she was going to come in there with her police friends, and they was going to stop the show, and I had no choice but to talk to her. I guess that was jokingly, because we joke a lot. Please, I don't want nobody to call me right now. Please, no one call me. Stop the show. Right. So we linked up. She came to the hotel. We had sex, and I opened up to her, and I gave her the truth. I said, listen, at the time that I met you, I didn't really want to take you seriously because I didn't want to drag you into the things that I was going through with my personal experience, my personal life with my kid's mother and everything like that. She said, I'm sorry that you felt that way, but I would have been there with you and I would have rode it out with you. And that, to me, was some of the realest shit I've ever heard. For somebody to say that they're going to be there with you through everything. You understand? So I decided that if we wanted to take it seriously, that's what we was going to do. Me and Kirby started communicating again, and we became, girlfriend and boyfriend. We was talking while her baby father was still living there. And I accepted that. She came to Atlanta because I told her sister that I was going to engage to her. Her sister was so happy. Her sister was supportive. And I planned this engagement for when she came to Atlanta. Her mother got involved and was very upset. You don't know this man. Where do you know this man from? You don't even know his real name. Why are you just gonna marry this man? Or why are you gonna take his ring or whatever? No, she didn't say about ring because Kirby didn't know that I was gonna engage to her. So her mother started feeling like she needed to interject in this situation. So her mother decided to make a fake email and sent it to Kirby and told Kirby that this is what somebody sent to her. Within that email, it was, my name is not Nigel Joseph. My name is not Nigel Joseph, and I've been exposing Kirby's nudes. Now, for a woman to doctor up an email to stop us from communicating and stopping us from loving each other is sick. For a grown woman to do that. Okay? Kirby did her due diligence and realized that it was a lie. And she realized that her mother was lying. That's her mother. Of course, she's going to forgive her mother. She was very distraught about it, but she also, that's her mother. I expect her to forgive her mother. And her mother told her that she was only trying to protect her. Kirby called me one day when she lived with her mother and was crying, was in tears. She had a red vial. It was a clear bottle about this big, maybe a little smaller, clear bottle. It had red liquid in it and a paper wrapped up in it. She called me on FaceTime. She was crying. And I said, "What's the matter?" And she told me, "I found, my grandmother sent me in her purse to get something, and I found this in it." She poured the liquid out. I'm not sure, but I think she even tasted it. And she was like, "It's sweet." She broke the bottle. She unraveled the paper. And on this paper, it says Kirby. And I don't, like I said, I don't have a reason to lie. I'm speaking my truth today. Because I'm just speaking my truth. So anyway, she unraveled this paper, and the paper said, "Kirby, submit to QAin. Kirby, love QAin. Kirby, never leave QAin." She said, "My mother and my grandmother is wicked, yo. They really voodooing me to stay with this man." So this is something that they've been into, obviously. Moving forward, I proposed to Kirby because I loved her. Nothing more. I was who I am before Kirby, and I'm definitely going to be who I am after Kirby. Kirby told me that she was going to leave her job, and she wanted to move so that we could be together in Atlanta. We both agreed on that. I went to Houston, and I paid for the U-Haul. Me and my kids helped her pack all of her stuff, and we drove 14 hours from Houston to Atlanta so that we can be together. The plan was that Kirby was supposed to take FMLA for 2 months. During that 2 months, she was supposed to do her transfer paper. She was supposed to do a lateral program, which means she didn't have to go through the academy again. They would just recognize that she was a police officer in Houston, and she would become a police officer here in Georgia. Well, that FMLA lasted 2 years because I took care of Kirby, spent my money, bought horses, and did everything that I could do to make Kirby happy. And I'm going to tell you the truth, nothing that I've ever done was going to make Kirby happy because she wasn't happy within herself. She jumped directly out of one relationship into another. There was no healing process. There was no time to reevaluate. There was no time for anything. And I think that was probably one of our biggest mistakes. Now, keep in mind that I've already been told that she was in an abusive relationship with her baby father. She told me that his sister was doing voodoo on her. Her mother is doing voodoo on her, or her grandmother. And she's with a dude that's been having sex with her since she was 15. Now, that dude, and I'm not naming any names, but that dude, when we first got serious, Kirby told me, and I have all of the texts and everything right here, so I'm gonna read it for you. So like I said, if you don't have the time to hear this truth, then you can go now. But I'm gonna put everything out because I want this to be done with. And like I said, I'm not responding after any type of backlash, any type of rebuttals, responses. I'm going to move on after this. So the guy that she was dealing with, which is her niece's uncle, when we decided to get serious, she told me, I don't know if this is the story, I don't know if this is correct, but she told me that this man was threatening her to put out her sex tape. The sex tapes that he has with her, he was threatening her. He said he was going to make paper. He's going to print papers with her nudes and put it all over the hood, because she's originally from Schenectady and Empire. So he was going to put it all over there and all of that. I reached out to some friends that have that's mutual friends with him, and I explained to them. I said, listen, if he disrespects her like that and puts out her nudes, then he's disrespecting me, and that can't happen. When they spoke to him, he said he was in his feelings, and he did say that, but he's not going to do that. It's all good. Shorty could go ahead and whatever. So the abuse, the sexual abuse, the putting out of sex tapes has been a cycle for Kirby. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's a cycle. Moving on. It's a shame to experience these things. And like I said, I'm so apologetic to the women that went through domestic violence, been beat up and all of these things, and abused and all of these things. It's really unfortunate. And as a kid growing up, I'm going to put my truth all the way out here. As a kid growing up, I watched my mother. We went to my father's house, and my mother went to tell him that I needed a bicycle. I was 6 years old. She went to his house. She told my father, your son needs a bicycle. Your son needs a bicycle. And my father looked out the window, and he told her that if he comes downstairs, she's going to regret it. My mother and my father wasn't together at the time. He had his family. My mother had her people, and that's what it was. But I remember it like it was yesterday, because this is something that I've lived through all my life. I was 6 years old. And these things I've confided into Kirby with. My father came downstairs with a machete in his hand. The story that I was told was that he tried to hit her with the side of the machete. But he chopped my mother's hand. And my mother's hand was hanging from a thread. And I sat there as a 6-year-old child and watched that whole thing. I've grown so much resentment for my father for that. I've held so much things back. And I use my comedy and my drive to become who I am today. So for somebody to try to destroy me after I've been nothing but good to this person, some people are just so wicked. And I'm not even talking about Kirby, but people is wicked. For y'all to come on here and disrespect me and disrespect my family, and y'all don't know, y'all have no idea what I've been through. Not even a piece. Not even a piece of what I've been through. I was molested as a child. I confided in somebody about it, which is Kirby. I told her, I said, listen, I've been through a lot, and I just want to know that you're here for me. I told her I was molested as a child from a male family member. And she took that and she used it as ammunition. We had an argument. She told me that I'm a faggot. She told me that my mother allowed somebody to molest me for 4 years. She threw all of that in my face. Yes, I'm not perfect, but I tried my best not to entertain the insults. I tried my best not to entertain the war and the argument and the confrontation. But I'm telling you this right now. Any man that has been in Kirby's life will be able to tell you that she strives off of confrontation. If she's willing to be honest with you people, because y'all don't know who Kirby is. Y'all know her as Majah Hype's fiance. Okay? I gave you 9 years of my personality. I gave you 9 years of who I've been and what I've been going through. I gave you 9 years of my life. You know Kirby because I introduced the world to her. I made it known that this was my wife. I've never put up a woman on my Instagram. I made it known. So for you the people to come on here and second guess my love for Kirby, for you people to come on here and judge what I've done in my relationship, the nerve of you people. And y'all need to check yourself, because everybody go through situations. And that's why I come on here and I motivate people. That's why I play music. That's why I encourage people, because I know a lot of us may not want to talk about the things that we've been through, and it's easier to laugh at somebody else's issues when we're trying to hide our own. Molestation is not a joke. And I wanted to have this conversation with my kids and my family before I did it, but we're here now. For you to confide into somebody and that's what they do. And I have a lot of screenshots and a lot of texts that I'm gonna read out and I'm gonna show you. Okay? I encouraged Kirby. I motivated her. I wanted her to be the best she can be. I started working on a website for her boutique, because she wanted to sell swimsuits. I brought her to the forefront. I put her on my Instagram. I let the world know that this is my wife. I encouraged her. I told her that she has a beautiful spirit. That's why she started doing lives last week. When she did her makeup tutorial and there was 20 people on it, I said, I need to encourage my girl. I need to support her. I went and got the Mitzi outfit.